Hello.
Hey,
How
good
are
morning.
you?
How are you? I'm good.
You're good? Okay, I'm good.
Good. I can hear you. I can see you. That's
Woo!
great.
Success.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had a big monsoonal rain here yesterday.
What did you have yesterday?
Monsoonal rain.
Oh my God.
Well, it wasn't really real rain. It
Yeah.
was mizzle drizzle all day long, though.
Mm.
Started out early in the morning, and I got up and I thought I heard the angels bowling upstairs in the sky.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
that's fun. Okay, so I'm recording right now. Do you want me to stop recording?
okay.
Want me to continue recording? What do you want?
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's start.
Okay, we're doing it. It's recording. So tell me more about this insight you have about the chakras.
Oh, well, it's, yeah, it's a perception that I'm having. Um, and it appears to be, I don't even know how I'm gonna explain this. Um, Within the layers within us,
Yeah.
as we perceive our multidimensionality,
Yeah.
um, we see layers and levels a lot,
Yeah.
or I do. And I'm sure
Right.
you do.
Yeah.
Um, but it appears that the chakras are, maybe it's the sense that they're expanding within us. It's such an expansive feeling.
Yeah.
Um, they just seem to be different, Renee. They're not so much linear as I used to perceive them,
Yeah. Yeah.
but more expansive than that. And they kind of, I'm seeing them morph like this living, breathing, morphing type energy
Hmm.
more than I used to feel. Um, the higher ethers down to the lower into the core of the earth feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's like even the core of the earth is different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
everything,
all,
everything is different.
yeah, it's all different. Yeah. Yeah. It's the difference, but it, yeah. So basically, you woke up to other levels of the chakras than like when we first learned them. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, the solar plexus has to do with the mind, and the sacral has to do with the, when you have these, we have these, oh, this means this, and this means and this and this. Well, yeah, that's nice, but there's way more. You're finding out, and I'm finding out too, that there's way more to it than what I've been taught. And
Yeah.
I have like these lists. I have these like perma bond plastic things over explaining seven different aspects of these, and like the musical notes and blah blah blah. So it's more
Yes.
than, so that's, I that never really clicked in with me. The ones about disease never really clicked in with me. I mean, even though they sort of kind of started to, but then I realized, then my guides were like, no, you're not going to be a healer. Boom. Like, what was I doing
You're like,
all this for?
what?
But so now it just feels like all of the chakras are different ways of seeing.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people are talking about there's not just two strands of DNA, there's all this what scientists call junk DNA, and we're working on 12,
12. Yeah.
DNA strands to become alive. And they're talking about that a lot, but they're not talking about how the chakras are doing the same thing.
And they are.
Yeah, and they are.
Yes. You
So
know what it makes me, it kind of reminds me of way back in the day, because you used to teach in school, right?
yeah, I was an English and drama teacher in
Yeah. Did
California
you,
public schools.
well, you may not have ever used this now, but did you ever use an overhead projector where you had all these
God, yeah.
transparencies and
Oh God,
things that you
yes.
would overlay on
Yep.
top of thing? That's what it's like.
That's what it's
But
like.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
inside
It's like,
us.
okay, here we're going to teach you what the chakras are on the first transparency.
Right.
Now we're going to add color and now we're going to add musical notes. Oh, and
Mhm.
now
Yeah.
it's we're going to perceive it in a completely different,
Yeah.
in a
That's
much
that's very much how I feel it is too.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good metaphor, the overhead projector thing.
Yeah, well, it dates us, but I mean, the younger
I mean,
bunch is not going to know what
who's
the hell
who's
you're
li
talking
who's
about.
listening to us? People our age. What can I tell you?
Oh, shoot. What
Yeah,
sign is the moon in today? I'm totally like, I don't know.
the moon's in Scorpio.
Oh,
My
okay.
husband has a Scorpio moon, and he feels it every single month, and he feels off every single month. The minute the moon conjunct is within 3 degrees of his natal moon, he's just like, forget it. It's just,
Yeah.
and he says hello, by the way.
Oh, good.
Knew I was going to see you today.
Good, good.
And
Yeah.
I learned something new in astrology that there is something called your strongest planet that is kind of this force, this life force that moves you. And so of course I looked up mine and I'm the moon, which makes sense. And I looked up
Mhm.
Jim's and he's Mercury, which makes sense. And then I thought, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see Gina tomorrow. Let me look up hers. You're Mercury.
Really?
Really?
Ah.
And Mercury's in your seventh house, so that's like all of this communication and relationships and really liking having conversations with people that are a little deeper than usual and normal conversation and that you just like to be listened to because you're so smart and you like other smart people. So here we are chatting.
Here we
I
are.
thought it made sense.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good to know. That kind of goes with the Gemini ascendant
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Yeah, and Gemini, let me think. Yeah, Mercury is
although I don't think of Gemini as being very deep, or I mean, they're kind of
okay.
chatty
Well, it
Cathy's,
used
but
to not
flighty.
be. It used to
They're
not
not.
be compared to Sagittarius, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, here you're just understanding and here you're in wisdom. Well, you've been in wisdom for a while now. So now your Gemini gets to catch up and be a little more the things that you're collecting, the insights and the understandings.
Hmm.
Because Uranus is in Gemini right now, and Uranus is the planet of sudden change and revolution, and so you just revolutionized the whole concept of chakras recently. So I,
Hmm.
there you go. If you, I don't know how many people you want to tell, but it's,
Probably not a lot at this point because they just look at me like,
yeah, right. We don't need that. Yeah, we don't need to cast pearls
yeah.
before swine. Yeah,
But I'm thinking, what, I think I sent you a little text and asked you, what the hell is Mars doing in my chart right now? Because I
yeah.
feel like that's where something is maybe going to shake me up a little, or
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mars has an aspect right now. Do you want to look at your chart real quick? I pulled it up real quick. I didn't
Yeah,
do the
yeah.
whole thing with it, but I'm just gonna pull up your chart. So I'm retired, so I'm not really going crazy and making presentations for people anymore. But when you ask a question like that, I have to pull up your chart and see what's going on. So here we go. The inside is your natal chart, and there's your ascendant, Gemini ascendant with your Jupiter in it. And there's Uranus that just entered Gemini on 7/7. Now, your Mars is over here. Whew. And yeah, okay. So your Mars is on the Shapley attractor. And
Ah.
right now, within 1 minute, not 1 degree, 1 minute, um, Haumea, which is the planet of rebirth and a very, very spiritual planet, like the higher octave of Neptune spiritual. And so Haumea is conjunct your Mars right now, also conjunct the Shapley attractor at 2 degrees Scorpio. So, and your Saturn's also, because the Shapley attractor is such a big thing, the Saturn is helping you limit the, because Saturn helps us limit, helps us say no, helps us be responsible, stuff like that, which you've never had a problem with a Capricorn sun. But anyway, so your Mars, that's what's happening to your Mars right now. And so the strongest gravitational pull that the planets and the galaxies are moving towards is that we know of in our neighborhood of the universe is the Shapley attractor, which is where your Mars is. So yeah, as far as cosmic points, I would say Mars is the most important, Mars in the sixth house, and how you're going to make the Shapley attractor into something you can understand on a practical level in daily life. I don't know, but that's what the sixth house is all about.
Say
Um,
that again, honey.
okay, so the sixth house is all about what we do in daily life, and practical things, and how to, like, for instance, you were trying to explain a very difficult concept that you now understand, that there is way more layers to chakras than people previously taught
Yeah,
and believed, right? You used a metaphor, a daily life metaphor about projectors. And for me, that was
yeah.
part of my daily life. So I went straight into the sixth house with you on that one.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's really good that you can come up with those. I don't always come up with those, and people are going, I don't know what she's talking about. Until they get to we get to the meditation, and everybody experiences it, and they go, oh, now I know what you were talking about. But for you, you already have those really good daily life metaphors coming through.
Okay.
So that's a gift. Jim has a lot of powerful stuff in the sixth house too. So he's real practical too. And he can give people this just real practical information when he's talking about really deep concepts. So it's
Hmm.
beautiful. So that's what's going on with your Mars. Now, Mars in the sky for everybody is at 14 degrees Libra right now. And so if you look over, and there was something, how is it related? Oh yeah. So the the Great Attractor is at 14 degrees Sagittarius. And so your Mercury is affected by the Great Attractor, which makes sense. And your Mercury is in Sagittarius. And so you've got a lot of this wisdom. But when you cross the street and go down here, your Mercury is conjunct your Jupiter in Gemini. So you just expanded on the ideas of chakras. And Mercury really likes being in Gemini. That's one of the places that Mercury rules. So that's interesting that it's really, there's this great attractor influence going through here, which is another really strong cosmic point. So, and then your Mercury is conjunct your Venus, which is really beautiful, because then then you bring in the love. You don't only bring in the wisdom, you don't only bring in the communication, you get to bring in, you've got the planet of relationships in the house of relationships, the seventh house, and you've got a really beautiful seventh house there. So I'm just babbling right now. Did any of that make sense?
Some of it.
Okay. You want to ask me a question?
I need to understand the great attractor a little bit more.
Okay, let's see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up somebody's reading. I recently did a reading for somebody who was a okay, blah blah blah. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing what I was sharing.
Okay.
I'll share this new thing I just opened. And the Great Attractor, blah, 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 blah. So here's how the cosmic points work. Um, there's the Earth, and we can see how much bigger the sun is, comparing the size of the sun to the galactic center, the center of the Milky Way, which is a void, by the way. And then the galactic center, the Milky Way, meets up with the Andromeda Galaxy. They're the two biggest galaxies. And then they grab a whole bunch of smaller galaxies with them, and they all travel to the supergalactic center, which is at 2 degrees of Libra. And so they just go and they do that, and that's where they're going, and they're going together. And I like to give gifts when I get there and blah blah blah, talk to people, whatever. It's nice to communicate with people that are living in other galaxies.
Mm.
And then all go, we're all being pulled to the Great Attractor, which is at 14 degrees Sagittarius. So you have two planets that are really affected by this Great Attractor. Actually, three, if you count that Jupiter is opposite this point. So, and what happens is that people are attracted to you, and they don't know why, because people just really don't understand why we're moving to these, why we, as part of a galaxy, are moving with other galaxies to these points. To my view is that we exchange information. At least that's how I'm perceiving it at this point in my life. The person that showed me this was very concerned about starseed origin and stuff, which is not a question I have, because I know, for me, I know that our origin is all the same, that we're all from divine source, and we're all returning to divine source. In fact, we never left divine source. So I'm not searching for my starseed origin. So, but
Yeah.
so this means something different to me. What it means to me is that we're it's like ancient peoples all over Cornwall and Somerset in England going
Hmm.
walking all the way to Stonehenge and having a yearly celebration at the solar, and then chatting with other people in other communities. So it's the same kind of thing. You're exchanging information with people that you haven't seen.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
so, I mean, that's just me, though. I don't,
Yeah.
you might perceive it as something completely different if you started tuning into these points. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something to do in your spare time. But anyway, so then the next one, and then they call it an attractor because people then are attracted to you because they know, hey, something is going on, and they want to talk to you. They hear you singing and they want to talk to you. Jim has the sun on the Great Attractor, and so does another one of my friends. In
Oh,
fact,
wow.
you know her, Sheila.
Hmm.
And so they just people just you go out in public and people are just like enamored by them. And when every time Jim or Sheila see that somebody is like, what? They just like start talking to them about all this stuff, all this deep stuff, and the person's just like, well, and they end up planting some kind of seed with them, and then we move on. But anyway, so that's what happens to them. They go
Yeah.
through their life, and people are like, what? And they don't even know what they want, They don't even know what they want to know. But then they'll just start spilling and talking and be like, okay, whatever. So
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the Great Attractor. And then the biggest one, let's see how big that one is the Shapley Attractor where your Mars is.
Yes. Tell me
And
about
there's
that.
pictures of what the gravitational pull is for that one. So let me just go on to, yeah, this is what the pull is like for the Great Attractor. So here's the Milky Way galactic center, and then here's the supergalactic center. And then here is the Great Attractor. So you can see it's kind of a toric field.
Oh,
And
Shapley?
this one is the Great Attractor right now. So we're
Oh,
looking
oh,
at the
okay.
pattern, the gravitational pull pattern of this of the Great Attractor looks like this.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
And it comes in and then it goes back out. And so we're like moving towards a whole bunch of new ideas, and then it kind of comes through in kind of like an hourglass thing, transforms, and then it kind of goes back down and becomes useful, and then you get more ideas, and then you go into, whoa, I gotta release a lot of false ideas because I'm in this crunch now, I'm in this conflict, this I'm in this intensity. And so now I released all of that, and now I can use this information I've been collecting and bring it back again to um, the people that actually listen to what I have to say. So, or want to look at read my art, or read my poetry, or listen to me,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yes.
And so then you're finding ways to bring it into daily life.
Yes.
So that's the Great Attractor. And so that's I'm really trying to describe the Great Attractor as Mars. And what Mars does is Mars wants to take action on something, but has learned, I'm sure with all of your years, you've learned the same thing as I do. If I just want to take action on what my ego wants to make me comfortable, it doesn't work as well as if I'm following the guidance from my soul that I tap into. And that is just like collecting things that don't make sense and are hard to describe. Like, wow, the chakras are are becoming more complex and layered than they were before, which I
Yes.
think is happening. So you take that information and you bring it into this place where at the center point of it,
At the hourglass. Yeah.
let go of old ideas in order to have the spaciousness to step into the new paradigm. And once you do that, then you can bring the information to it into practicality, and you're actually taking action on what you're
Hmm.
perceiving as far as insight goes.
So our chakras then are responding to the great attractors
Yep.
motion and movements, and we're doing that in these, if we're in the flow,
Yes.
we are just morphing right along with that energy.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thank you for that, because you just gave me another piece of that, that is the movement that our chakras are learning. Our chakras are learning that they are part of the cosmos, and they're recognizing the movement
Hmm.
and the greater attractor movement. So, yeah, absolutely, the chakras are picking up on the movement and being pulled. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
And
there's a
then there's
lot.
kind of like that hourglass fountain effect, I
Mhm.
feel, of where you kick out all the old debris, the things that no longer serve you. It's like a
Right, right.
purge. And
Yeah,
then all the new stuff comes in, and you're like, well, how does that fit? So
right,
when you
right.
get,
And a
yeah,
lot of times when you ask, how does that fit? Then you have to ask, or does it?
or does it? Yeah.
Because there's this, I think Jesus was actually talking about this time that we're living in right now, 2025.
Yes.
He was talking about it 2,000 years ago and nobody knew what he was talking about. But now
Right,
it's like, yeah, because he was saying you don't put new wine in old wineskins. And so that's like
Ah,
we're getting new wine here. We're getting
yes.
this is the new insights. We're getting the new wine. Um, People are figuring stuff out that no, some people still think is wackadoodle, but it, hello, we're experiencing it. So maybe you'll catch up someday. Right now, I'm just planting seeds with you and moving on to people that are experiencing what I'm experiencing, right? So,
Yes.
so it's like having we're one of the things we're creating in daily life with Mars is the new wineskins. So for me, the new wineskins are the chakras. They're containers for wisdom and different kinds of wisdom. That's just what I've been perceiving for the last couple of years now, is that the chakras are containers and they're containers for different kinds of wisdom. And so they're the new wine. The chakra system is the new um wineskins.
Yes.
And
That sounds like a poem to me.
doesn't maybe I should write a
I
poem
think
about
you
it
should,
when I get
I
off the
think you should, yeah.
meeting with
Or
you.
maybe it's not a poem, but it might be
Yeah.
a prose poem. Yeah.
So yeah, I was writing prose poems this just before I got on this call with you. So that would
Oh,
make sense. Yeah. So yeah, so I want to be doing more of that.
yes.
Taking all of this information and insights I'm collecting and bringing it here, bringing it into the new, I realized a whole bunch of stuff day before yesterday that was just nonsense that had been sitting around in my field for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving it into now moving this energy into the chakra system is thank you for that piece. That's really important.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the things that I've been aware of is that there are seeds within the chakra system, but I didn't know that until I was leading all these meditations, all these eye of the heart meditations. And there's seeds in the earth, there's tons of seeds in the earth star chakra, and there's different seeds in that are waking up and activated because we're at the end of the sleep cycle and entering the spring of the cycle of the new 13,000 year cycle that humanity's been in. And we're just like waking up and the divine feminine's rising. And so all of this. So the divine feminine's rising, and we go through a kind of a transformation, let go of stuff, step into stuff, and then with the masculine is now holding us, holding our chakras, bringing it into daily life, bringing it into ways to communicate what the insights are that we're receiving. So, and
Excellent.
then, so all of the different seeds are like different perceptions, different windows, different dimensions, and then Diana Cooper was talking about the different veils of the seven layers of the brow chakra, and that was
Oh, yes.
interesting too. And because the veils are all lifted, you can actually use the brow chakra. So when I was first doing a lot of healing, when first moved to Mexico, I had three fingers on the brow chakra, and I knew that there were three layers that I was aware of in the brow chakra, and they would just be like Orion's belt stars, one, two, three, right, one right on top of the other. And now after listening to Diana Cooper, I go, oh, actually there's seven. And when
Wow.
I did that, I went, yeah, she's right. There are seven veils. And to go through the process of releasing all of them so that we're looking more clearly at reality and seeing, yeah, love is all there is, which is what Course in Miracles is always talking about love is all there is. If you're not seeing it as love, then guess what? There's a veil of your own illusion that you need to
Mm-hmm.
lift. Yeah.
Yes. I did a healing with somebody right after, um, I think it was your last teaching when we were doing this. And one of my caregiver friends, a little Mexican lady, came over and she was in great pain. And we actually did that process on her.
Wow.
And it's like I just learned this, and here, not even 5 hours later, I'm doing this process with someone,
Yeah.
and she had a lot of pain, like in her liver, gallbladder type area, and it was,
Yeah.
and it was affecting her ribs and her respiration. So, yeah, we did that process on her, and then for about, I don't know how many passes we did, but it was a good 10 minutes in,
Oh,
I think, in time maybe.
yeah.
And she was very focused, which was really good. And of course, she had a lot of angelic assistance because she's an earth angel. And
Uh-huh.
she's just coming into the realization of what that means for
What
her.
that means. Yeah.
But,
Awesome.
when we stopped, all of a sudden her eyes got really wide and she looked at me and I said, "How you feel?" And she said, "I have no pain anymore." So
Wow.
that was such a wonderful process. And I thank you for sharing that with me because I had never thought of it as a healing process to that extent, but I put it into practicality. Good old Capricorn,
Beautiful. Yeah.
I went ahead and
Very necessary. Yes.
yeah. So that was so beautiful. I just thought I'd share that with you.
Right. Awesome.
Um,
Awesome. Awesome.
you never know when the seeds are going to,
Yeah.
when their time is
Yeah. When their
either.
time is, and then being able to use them when they're needed.
Yes,
And yeah, because like a lot of times I will get an insight and I'll go, where did that come from? That
exactly.
seems really weird. Okay, so that's kind of different than what I've been working on. And then a day later or a couple of days later, I will be doing a reading with somebody, and then I'll just go, oh, that was for them. And then
Yeah.
it's like and then just trusting that whatever somebody shows up and needs, um, I will be able to access whatever it is that they need. And a lot of it isn't even my stuff. It just like came to me.
No, you're
And
just channeling it through. Yeah.
yeah, just moving it on to where it's needed. And so yeah, so that's a really important aspect of the whole thing. So any other questions about the Great Attractor? Because I'm going to show you the Shapley Attractor picture now.
No, let's go on to Shopley.
Okay. So don't pay attention to this part because that was just the person I was reading. That was their what their connections were. Your connection to the Shapley Attractor is Mars.
Yeah.
Okay. So so this is now the local group, which is like the super galactic center, is our local group of what? Of galaxies. So we're on the galactic level. And then the Great Attractor is right next door, relatively in relative distance compared to how far away from these two the Shapley Attractor is. But all of the red is the movement from, you can kind of see that there's, wait, what's this? Oh yeah, this is from Perseus
Mm,
and that whole constellation. So there's a lot of movement from Perseus being pulled in, and then the local group has some pulls, and then the Great Attractor has some pulling in. And so there's just, and then so there's just a lot, and then there's a little bit from this constellation called Lupus, and a little bit from this constellation called Heracles.
mm,
And but this is how big, I mean, the local group is a little dot there, and this is how powerful gravitationally is the Shapley attractor is. And so there's all of this red coming in, and then the opposite of 2 degrees Scorpio is 2 degrees Taurus. And that's where the dipole repeller is. And so there's like this Shapley attractor that is just bringing in all this energy, and then it's being pulled away by the dipole repeller.
Hmm.
So a lot of times what happens when you get
Interesting.
Shapley attractor downloads is
Yeah.
that a lot of it will, like your next step in the visioning process after the fiery inspiration of the Shapley attractor that you're connecting to, then the next step in the visioning process is to take it into the element of air, take the insight into the element of air, and then you can think practically about how does this fit or does it, and all of that kind of thing. And what happens in that process with the Shapley when you're going through the visioning process and you get to the air and you start questioning what it is you received, you have to know that what you received is true and that it may not be its time to be birthed yet. And so when you get to the repeller, you don't have to question your insight.
Mm.
You hold to, yes, that was a valid insight. Was it just my imagination? There is no just. If it was your imagination, then that's more powerful than if it was a daily, everyday life observation, if that makes sense. So
Hmm.
there is no, oh, this is just I'm growing a plant and it turns out to be corn. Great, that's good. I need it. But then, there's also in my imagination, this was coming, and you have to know that everything that comes is valid and it just might not be time for it, or the new wine sack wasn't prepared for it. And so what happened because of the dipole repeller right by the Shapley attractor, a lot of times we will doubt our insights,
Yes.
and then we that doesn't serve us or anybody
No.
else that we might ever share our insights with. So the polar repeller works to tell us the same thing that Saturn says, which comes in with a limit and says not now, not yet. And so anything that's like you go, okay, well, I know this is a true insight, and it might need some time, and I'm going to just am I prepared to hold this insight somewhere
Hmm.
within
Hmm.
me, in within my chakra system or
Yeah.
other container system I have or whatever. So we're looking at, so I'm going to just, when this insight came through, it came through here, or did it come through here, or did it, where am I touching to pull it in and to keep it? Like I had an insight the other day that came in through this ring finger. Actually, you can't see me right now. Okay, there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
through the ring finger and then came around like this. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold this. I was talking to the Syrians and I wanted to hold the insight because I trusted it. And
Yeah.
so I was just holding it and seeing what else I was being given and seeing where I should, what container I should hold it in. Well, the container is of this mudra.
Yes.
So it's like knowing that your whole body, there's all these chakras here and here, and I'm sure you know where they all are and all that, but so it's not just the seven or not just the 12. And okay, so where's the container that I'm storing this wisdom? And then the next day after that was when I released a whole bunch of crap. And it was just like I released a whole bunch at 4 in the morning, having this experience. And then when I
Yeah.
was taking a shower later in the day, it was just like the shower's just like rinsing the rest of the stuff I had been releasing away.
Residue. Yes.
Yeah, residue. And so the dipolate repeller functions best when you use it as a, okay, I'm going to release all this stuff that now doesn't serve because I received this insight that it's not just my imagination. My imagination is powerful and, just as powerful as any other way of experiencing. And so I'm going to just let this percolate, let this cook on the back of the stove, or let this sit in a container until it's ready to be, because it's a seed. And when it's ready to bloom, I will be able to move forward with whatever needs to. And sometimes
Hmm.
it'll be like, okay, something's blooming in my heart. It's also something's blooming in my solar plexus. So I'm going to have a hand on each and I'm going to see what they're birthing.
Yeah.
So there's all of that, and then connecting the chakras with figure eights.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so there's a lot. Don't let this tell you that you're wrong, that you're crazy, that it's just your imagination, because it's part of the process.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I mean, I know because I have Neptune on the Shapley Attractor that I
Oh,
have this really helpful star Mirach opposite the 0 degrees um Shapley, and Mirach is 0 degrees Taurus. So for me, even the even though I'm 2 degrees away from the Shapley attractor, I feel it really strong because it's approaching. And your Mars is 1 degree away from Shapley attractor, and it's really strong because you're approaching it.
yeah.
Okay, so questions. What makes sense? What doesn't make sense?
Mm. Mm. I just feel like there's something that Mars is going to do something.
Okay,
I can't even explain. It's just an intuitive feeling that it, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be really soon, like in the next 48 to 72 hours, I'm going to experience something
okay,
from the Mars shaking up something
okay.
in me.
Uh,
And I that's why I really wanted, it's like, does this have to do with the Shapley attractor and those planets all moving?
I think it
Am
does.
I move, is that is my what are they gonna influence the Mars in a way that's gonna create something new, different, maybe disruptive even? Or, I mean, is it like a shakedown of DNA debris? What is it that's gonna happen?
Happening. Right. So
What's
let's stop sharing this. I don't think we need this anymore, right? We've sung
happening? Okay,
this, we've got this.
thank you.
Now we're going to look again at your chart and see if we can answer what's going to be happening in the next 2 days with Mars. Okay, so yes, right now, this is like August 29th. Um, this
Hmm.
this chart was cast for early this morning. So let me go ahead a couple of hours and see what happens. Okay, so the moon, so this moves so slowly, and this is your natal Mars. So this isn't really, let me see. That's what's happening to your natal Mars. Your regular Mars is at 14 Libra, and it's 14 is also here. Okay, so you're squaring the Mars in the sky for everybody right now is squaring Sirius, our
Oh,
spiritual sun.
yeah.
Okay. It's also your Mars right now. We were talking about how it was sextiling the Great Attractor. And so that's
Yes.
happening. So two things are happening. We talked about one. The other one it's happening is Mars is squaring Ceres. So for me, I had a really, really strong connection to Ceres when Jupiter was 13, 14, 15, 16 degrees, and now Jupiter is at 17 degrees. So I'm not feeling the connection I've been working with as strongly to Sirius as I had been. But that doesn't mean I stop writing about those experiences because when I get an insight in my chart, I have certain black holes, and I was listening to a cosmic astrologer, astronomer, he's both, and he was giving me a reading saying whenever I get an insight to write about it for 10 days because
Oh,
that's
wow.
how long it takes to get it.
Wow.
So I'm still writing about series. And now I'm realizing that the insight that I received, it was an insight that I had received when I was 16.
Oh my
I
God.
started talking, but I perceived it in a completely different way.
Ah,
I wrote a poem called The Bubble, and so I was just working on that. So, and because I was working on that, I started to see this pod I was feeling. Um, uh, you tune into parallel lives.
yeah.
I'm not saying I had a life as a Syrian on another planet, but I can tune into a life that may be under my, oversoul.
Yes.
And because the oversoul is learning from all these different lives can interact with each other and teach each other, support each other, and all of that. So that's what I've been tuning into lately. And so one of the
Yes.
souls, parallel souls, is was on a planet, not Earth, but another kind of another planet, and on a mission, and we were in these little pods, and there was some issues, some problems, and there was a moment where it was like I felt trapped, like I couldn't get out and I couldn't escape, because if I walked out, the little pod was giving me that kind of air that I needed to breathe and the kind of gravitation that I needed to have, and so it was a very regenerative pod, and there was just this moment where everything just went, oh my God, I'm trapped in this thing.
Oh.
And so there's like, there's this whole thing, and then when we got rescued by the mothership, and we were all in the big on the big shift, and we were all separated, all of us that were in a circle on this planet working and observing, right? And every
Hmm.
window was a different observation, which I didn't know until I remembered the bubble poem that I had written when I was 16.
Wow.
And then I was like experiencing, now, is this just my imagination? Take out the word just, because imagination is incredibly powerful. And
Yes.
when I write this, people are going to think, "Oh wow, that's fiction. How do people come up with this stuff?" But there are essences, moments, like I remembered that moment of being in the pod. I remembered that moment of being told, "Hit the golden button if you feel trapped," because then
Wow.
you're going to receive the kind of air you need to breathe, and you're going to calm, your nervous system's going to calm right down, right? So those were my instructions, but I forgot them, right? So it
Hmm.
was just like, we get back to the whole ship, and one of the people just freaked out. And everybody went, instead of judging that person or giving them a diagnosis or whatever, we just all walked over and sent energy to this person that had been completely lost it because they
Yeah.
forgot to hit the golden button or whatever. But
Yeah.
so we're like doing all this healing, and then the person got um taken into where we had the Arcturians on the ship that were going to do healing on anybody that, was having an issue with, because of the planetary energies that we were perceiving. But anyway,
Hmm.
it's so,
Wow.
I mean, is this can I say this as linear or literal? No, because
Mm-mm.
we're on this planet creating little cages for ourselves, trying to make everything literal or linear. Did this really happen? Who cares? It seems like something that happened in a past era as opposed to a future era. But can I say I asked my guides, it was this happening at the time of the era on Earth of Haimea, I mean not Haimea, Lumeria, and there goes,
American.
oh no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, was it Earth? And they're like, no. So it's just like, okay, so I asked those questions and it just seemed like it wasn't important when this was. Because who's going to check it against anything? It's like, and it just, so it's like, okay, I don't literally care because that's a cage. I can't write this. I can't share this if I have to prove to somebody that it actually happened.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at right now. You can be where you can take it or leave it or say, boy, Renee was sharing something out of her imagination today. It was sounded really, really
I love it. But you can also write it up as in third person fiction,
people are going to read it as fiction.
and they'll read it and they'll,
Whatever. I don't
on
care
some
if
level,
people,
they'll,
I don't care if people
you
read
know,
it as fiction or people read it as
right.
memoir or I don't know, I don't care. Because a lot of times people lie in memoirs when they write them and they
Oh,
tell
yeah.
the truth in fiction when they write it. So, hey, if I maybe I want to tell the truth, so I'll probably tell people it was fiction. So, who knows?
A, a lot of good things get written as fiction just because,
Yeah,
you can't really explain everything
yeah,
on every level to everyone. So.
right. And you're not looking for
And they get
somebody
what
to
they're meant
believe
to
you.
get too, you know?
So anyway, I don't need somebody else to believe my experience.
Right.
So for me to just write it all up the way that the way the dots are connecting, and to
Yeah.
make it a little more dramatic when I feel like I'm trapped and could die in this thing, in this,
Yeah.
of course from a theater family. Of course, I'm gonna make that more dramatic than it really was. But
Yeah.
so, there's Barbara Hanclow, who I learned all of these dimensions and how to tap into these different dimensions, and that I was teaching in a couple months ago. When was that? That was a long time ago. That we started yeah, in February and March we were teaching. In February I was teaching the multidimensionality, and she wrote a lot of books from her imagination in her actual experience with real, amazing things happening with the Pleiadians, because she's mostly just connected with the Pleiadians.
Mm-hmm.
She just brought those out as fiction because she didn't want to fuss with the science behind it and the proof and all of that, which she did with her multidimensional books. So, and she was just saying, yeah, that when you call it fiction,
Yep.
it's just easier to write because you don't have to worry about that whole level. You're not meeting people on a I'm trying to convince you of this.
Right.
Here's the
Exactly.
evidence. Yeah. So it just takes a whole layer off when you
Yes.
just write your stuff that comes to you as fiction. So,
Yeah. Right, girl, right.
so that's what I'm doing these days. That's why I'm retired. So it's like,
Yes. How do you spell her last name?
oh,
Hencla?
yeah, okay. Let me
Do you
see.
know?
I'm trying to even think. Barbara Hand Clow.
I'm gonna try to look her up, but I don't
Yeah.
know how you
So it's
spell.
Barbara Hand dash Clow.
Oh,
Clow. Barbara Hand Clow. And then she wrote, I think Alchemy of the Nine Dimensions is the name of the book that I was teaching from.
Alchemy of the nine dimensions.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I want to look her up.
Yeah. She's every once in a while when she's got a book coming out or something, she will talk to somebody on YouTube that asks really good questions. And so I think she talked to Julia Balaz once, I think, and I think she talked to Pam Gregory, and I know for sure
Uh-huh.
she talked to Heather Ensworth.
Uh-huh.
So those are all like galactic people that
Yeah.
understand astrology on a galactic level.
Yeah.
So it's I think she was interviewed on Astrology Hub by Amanda Poe Walsh, and she usually asks really good questions.
Wow.
So there's just in some of the people that will have her on are a little further out than I am, but what the heck. It's
Yeah.
it's interesting. They're planting seeds, and I can say, okay, I
Hmm.
don't resonate with this, put it over here. Oh, I
Hmm.
resonate with this. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to explore and experiment to see if I can experience what this person is experiencing, and then I'll be like, yes, or I'll be like, no, it goes over here.
Yeah. Exactly. I do the
Yeah,
same thing. I do the same thing.
yeah,
Wow.
that's your Gemini ascendant. It took me years to be able to do that.
Oh, really? Well, that's the
Yeah.
gift of the Gemini ascendant.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think I have any more questions, honey, but
Okay.
um, that's beautiful.
So that's what's coming up near Mars. Once Haumea, the dwarf planet, is right on it,
Uh-huh.
and the other thing, and then the Shapley attractor, and then the galactic center. Anytime anything lines up, and this is Haimea's been on Shapley within 3 degrees for the last 2 years and is
Mm.
going to continue. But right now, she is so close to your natal Mars. Let me see. I'm gonna do something really quick. I'm gonna take an event and I'm going to go transiting Haimea. Where is it? I have Haimea. Yeah, Haimea conjunct natal Mars. And then we're going to see when they are. Okay, August 30th, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow, they're going to be exact. So let's look at the chart. Um, Here we go. Let's, Here we go. This is the chart. Where's Haimea? Okay, Haimea is at 1 degree, 27 minutes, which is exactly conjunct your Mars. And it's going to be happening for me at 3:33. So for you in Pacific time, 2:33 tomorrow. Mars is going in Haimea are exact. And that could be what you're feeling.
Oh.
So And then, yeah, so Ceres is going to be in your seventh house of relationship at that point. And so going to be trine your Mars. Yeah, Ceres is going to be trine. No, this is Mars in the sky, so it's not a trine. That's what it. So Mars is going to be at 15 tomorrow. And um yeah, in 15 Libra tomorrow in the sky for everybody. So today it's at 14, tomorrow it's going to be at 15.
Mm.
So, uh, um,
Okay. Well, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we know when it's going to happen.
we know when. Yeah, and that's what astrology actually is useful for. Is
Yeah.
it's divine timing, and it's when. You need to answer the question, when is it going to happen? Or to answer the question, how long am I going to be in this? Like Pluto's on my ascendant again, getting really close. And then I went, okay, I'm not a teacher anymore. Thank you, Pluto on my ascendant. It's like, but yeah. So that's always interesting. So I mean, I know how long that's gonna last. So
Yeah.
it's like I really wasn't expecting another pass that had me get rid of some essential archetype that I use. So
Well, who knows what's coming up, though? I
yeah,
mean,
who knows?
we shake off all this old junk stuff and
Yep.
uh, then opening in love and see what happens because everything is new and different now.
Yep, it sure is. And there's
Fear
more
forward. Yeah.
people waking up going, hey, what's going on? Gina, you seem like you know what's going on. Tell me what's going on. And then you get to ask them more questions. Why? What just happened for you? And then you get to talk to them from the point of where they're at because you're probably, eons ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you for looking all this up for me. I
Mhm.
really appreciate it. Um, I took some notes, so I will be
Okay.
reviewing the notes.
Okay.
And
And look at how many beautiful trines are happening tomorrow at 2:30.
wow.
Look, so you don't be worried about how it's gonna come in. The moon in Sagittarius is going to be opposite Uranus, but that's the only strong red line you have. And so that's no big deal.
Yeah.
All this is the beautiful minor trine between Uranus, Pluto, and Saturn. Saturn and Neptune are holding this point, and there's a sextile there, trine there. They're creating this minor triangle, this pattern. And then you've got this trine going from Saturn and Neptune to the moon. So the moon's gonna that's what happened. The moon is gonna be at 1, 2, and 3 degrees tomorrow. So by noon, the moon is gonna be creating this trine with Saturn and Neptune in it. And Venus is going to be at 6 degrees. So that's what's making up this flow. So that
Mhm.
you've got the moon, Venus, so it's goddess energy with this Mars coming in exact Timea unshapely. There's a lot of beautiful feminine energy with the moon, Venus, Neptune, Saturn's the masculine energy in the mix. So it's really going to be, it's not going to be a difficult thing. It's just something that you want to pay attention to. And, hey, what the heck, write about it for 10 days. What do you got to lose? I mean,
We'll see.
we'll see. So it should be a beautiful flow. You're going to want to
Okay.
meditate. You're going to want to um, journal. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Astrology tells us when to journal, when to meditate. So
Yep.
that's one of the things it does. I have no idea what your insight's going to be tomorrow. If after 10 days of writing about it, you can you know, say, okay, Renee, I'm ready to tell you all about it.
10 days is a long time.
Is it?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I can't say that. What is time anyway?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, I'm having problems with linear time.
yeah,
I, I
yeah.
don't know if I'm the only one, but
Oh yeah. I had a trouble with linear time for a long time, like my whole life because I have a Pisces moon, and my husband is less like gets really fed up. So if I'm meditating, when we were in our other house, I was meditating in the middle of the living room, and he would come by and want my attention. So he'd just touch my foot. After a while, I'd go, okay, honey, you want me to ground in 3D and talk to you? Here we go. What do you need to tell me?
Yep, yep.
And because he did that all the time, because he was just like, where are you? Get back here.
Yeah.
I could now I can come back to linear time and whenever I need to. Like, oh, I'm getting hungry. Oh, look, it's 5 o'clock. Oh, Theo, wow, I'm gonna start dinner. And then I can go in the kitchen and be totally 3D and not burn a pan anymore. I
Excellent.
burn pans all the time, getting car accidents, which is why I don't drive. So it's just now I can function in 3D and I don't, but I don't drive, so I don't know. So it's so hilarious. My Jim used to chant Hare Krishna in the car and
Yeah.
get a lot of his rounds done. And so he advised me to chant Hare Krishna in the car when I was supposed to have 16 rounds too. And it was great because I got 16 rounds, but I went all the way to Vrindavan and I was communing with Krishna and Radha. You can't
Mm.
drive when you're
You
doing
can't
that.
drive when
You're
you're
not
doing
in the
that.
same dimension.
Oh
That's
my
because you need to be
God.
to drive a car. So when I finally figured that out and then told my husband, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Because he thought the car accidents were all my fault. Now he's like, his suggestion for me to chant Hare Krishna was part of the problem.
That's a good one. I love it.
So yeah, it's harder. It's getting harder for a lot of people to stay in 3D, to stay in linear time and all of that. Which is great. I mean, why do you need to not be why do you're retired. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You can feed the cat, so you're fine. You can be anywhere you want, right?
Yes.
So long as the cat's okay, we're good.
There you go.
So anyway, I will let you go.
Okay.
And because I've got somebody here that wants to clean this room, so
Oh,
just
okay.
I'm like, okay, that's it. I am not, you know, um because they were cleaning later in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. And so it's just like, you know what? I'm not even, they come on Fridays.
Yeah.
It's part of our rent that the
Oh,
hotel wants to make sure that everything stays clean and up to date. So they gave us a day to for have every week to have somebody come in and clean.
nice. I like that.
So
All right. Tell me how I send you money.
you don't send me money, sweetie.
Well, yeah, but just I'm thinking about in the future with charts and things. I don't know if you want to continue
Yeah.
with any of that or, where you're at with it. But
Okay. Okay.
what do you use?
So I use PayPal actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just Renee.Varnador at gmail.com is my PayPal. Um, and that's also my Zelle. So uh,
Renee Varnador dot
Renee.Varnador at gmail.com.
at gmail. Oh, there's not another dot in there?
Okay,
Is there one after Varnador?
Renee.Varnador at gmail.com. So there's the
Okay.
.com and then there's a Renee dot.
Renee dot.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a PayPal account, so I just have to put some money in it.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
if somebody pays you in the next 10 days and all of your insights, if you received any insights and some of them ended up with this other person and they paid you, then you can give me a little bit of money, but otherwise no.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you so much, honey. I really do.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, because I didn't realize that the movement of the chakras was this very similar to the movement of the Great Attractor. And unless we had been on this call, I wouldn't have known that. And it
I
makes perfect sense to me. And so you don't have to pay me anything. I got something good out of it.
okay, well, good exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really feel that. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
all
Awesome.
right.
Mwah.
All right, love you.
Love you too.
Be good.
Okay, you too.
All right. Bye,
Have
sweetie.
fun tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful. The beautiful flow.
That's good.
Hmm.
Lots of meditation and contemplation, I feel.
That's right.
Maybe some journaling. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. I was going to go out and do stuff and now I'm glad I'm not.
No, no, this is
I'm
definitely,
going to nest.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
All right. Happy house cleaning.
Happy, happy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, honey.